Nick Miller is our studio engineer back at the Salem headquarters. We welcome all of you listening and our radio audience today on WHKW AM 1220 here in Cleveland. And we welcome to Case Field Classic Teleproductions doing the video webcast of today's game. So we welcome all of you watching in on the internet as well as we watch the Spartans make an attempt to go 4-0 on the season. Nick Krimpaski is back deep along with Nick Weiss to receive this kick. It is a deep end-over-end kick, taking Krimpaski all the way back to the 1-yard line. He gets back out close to the 16. That's where he's tackled. A 15-yard return for Denison, and they will come out. And Ed, let's check the Denison starting offensive unit.
For Denison, they will come out on offense with Mike Barnes at quarterback. John Berg will be the tailback. They will go with 3 wide receivers, Nick Thompson, Peter Jaraway, Mike Brienzo, and up front for the Big Red, Will Miner, Derek Ulsh, Ed Hebb, Bobby Fresh, and Mike Muldoon out of Cincinnati is the right tackle.
Mike Barnes is the senior quarterback out of Mayfield High School, so a former Wildcat calling the signals for the Denison Big Red. Here's the first play of today's game. They will hand it up the middle to John Berg, their fine running back. He finds very little running room as Case stacks it up on the line of scrimmage. John Berg is senior, 5'9", 210 pounds, out of Trinity High School in Washington, PA.
For Case, initially they had looked like they were going to go with a 3-5 setup defensively, and they start with 4 defensive linemen today. John Genovese, Jake May, Brian Calderon, all in there.
John Berg, 31 carries now, 154 yards on the season. He has scored 2 rushing touchdowns. The quarterback, Barnes, a threat to run on almost every play. He's in the shotgun, and he'll keep it this time. Sidesteps a tackler, gets out close to the 24-yard line, a pickup of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 4 coming up for Denison. We're just underway today here at Case Field on a beautiful day in Cleveland, Ohio, as the Spartans look to go 4-0, currently ranked 14th in Division III football by D3Football.com.
Case will have to contend with the speed of Mike Barnes. He was named the 2008 North Coast Athletic Conference Indoor Track Sprinter of the Year. Has won a couple of 400-meter championships for the Denison Big Red.
He's a former defensive player for Denison, shifted into the quarterback role this year. He's flushed out of the pocket. Diving tackle by Brian Calderon. Calderon coming up from behind, wipes out Mike Barnes on a sack, and it'll be 4th down for the Big Red, and the punting unit will come on.
That's team sack number 10 for the Spartans in 3 games and 2 minutes so far. And Brian Calderon, a preseason second-team All-American.
So the punting unit on. Caleb McFerrin will punt it away for the Big Red. A short kick out to midfield. It will bounce. No return here. Not much of a Denison bounce. It does roll back about 6 more yards, and they down it at the Case 41-yard line, and so that's where the Spartans will take over with 12:41 to go now in quarter number 1. We have no score at Case Field. Denison 3 and out on their first possession, and here comes the vaunted Case offense.
Well, a quick strike again 2 weeks ago against Oberlin, scoring on 6 of their first 7 possessions. If there's one thing the Case team as a whole needs to do, though, Dave, and that's cut down on penalties. They're averaging 7 penalties per game. Dan
Whalen is the junior quarterback. Whalen quickly looks over to the sideline. He'll take the snap. Here's a little reverse. They'll give it to Metalsitz, who turns the right corner across midfield, out to the 40, to the 35, and down to the 32-yard line.
The freshman takes that end around. He started in motion, Dave, and looked like he was just going to come down and maybe catch the defensive end on a seal block so that Case could run to the near side of the field on a sweep. Instead, he took the little inside pitch from Whalen, took it around the far side, the right side of the formation, picked up nearly 40 yards on 1st down.
Metalsitz, the freshman, wide out. Whalen hands up the middle this time. Diving across the 30-yard line, Greg Meyer, the starting tailback, the junior out of Clearwater, Florida. No score first quarter. Case driving deep in Denison territory now. The football is on the 28. 5-yard pickup for Meyer. 2nd down and 5 from the 28-yard line. Dan Whalen takes the snap, goes back to throw, looks downfield, flushed out of the pocket, wings it toward the end zone, and it is caught. Touchdown. Sean Nicely with a sliding grab for the touchdown. Case takes a 6-0 lead.
And again on a first possession and a big play. A couple of the keys we talked about in the opening, Dave, was Case's ability to hit that long play and score early in the game. Both of them coming true as the ball just over the outstretched hands of Drew Homick, the defensive back who leads the team in tackles for Denison, and the brother of Zach Homick, who leads Case in receptions.
Sam Coffey on for the PAT. Snap a little high, they get it down. Colasar with a nice hold. The kick is up, and it is good. 7-0 Case, and a 28-yard touchdown pass from Dan Whalen to Sean Nicely. We'll step away for this 30-second timeout. Back with more first quarter action in just a moment on the Spartans Broadcasting Network.
That's the 6th touchdown pass of 20 or more yards this year.
Hello, I'm Dr. Mark Hans, Chairman of the Department of Orthodontics at Case Western Reserve University School of Dental Medicine. The dental school is proud to be creating smiles across the miles at our new orthodontic clinic in downtown Shanghai. Through a partnership with Zhongtong University, our American clinic offers quality orthodontic care to Chinese families and the international business community. This unique partnership is the first of its kind in China, filling a critical niche in the developing global community.
Joey Baum and Dan Whalen. And Case also has the long being the 83-yard touchdown pass early in the season from Dan Whalen.
11:42 to go here in the first quarter. Now, I assume there's been a penalty of some sort called. I did not see a flag or any gesture from down below, but they are moving Case back 15 yards for this kickoff. So Sam Coffey will kick it from his own 15-yard line.
Scoring drive officially 3 plays, 59 yards. Took 59 seconds for Case to grab the lead.
7-0. Unsportsmanlike conduct was the call against Case, so it was a 15-yard penalty. This will be taken by Krimpaski at the 22-yard line. Turns the corner. Nice return as he gets out across the 40 and knocked out of bounds near the 44-yard line. 11:36 to go here in quarter number 1. David Wilson, Ed Doherty will be checking in with Nick Stroud a little later on the sideline for some on-field reports. The Spartans leading at 7-0. Winners now of 14 consecutive regular season games, dating back to the final game in '06. One of the officials now talking with head coach Greg Demilak. Head coach of Denison, by the way, Nick Fletcher. The Denison offensive unit on the field right now and getting ready for the first play of scrimmage. We'll check the Case defensive unit after the first play. Mike Barnes, we told you, the senior, he likes to run the football. He has run for 3 touchdowns and has a long of 76 running the football this year. He takes the snap under center. He'll hand it around the left side. Football carried by John Berg, and he gets out across midfield down to the 45, knocked out at the 44.
Flag down on the field. It's going to be a hold or a block in the back against Denison.
Holding is the call, and so the Big Red will march it back. Case has scored on a 28-yard touchdown pass from Dan Whalen to Sean Nicely. Nicely, by the way, his 5th touchdown catch of the year, leading the Spartans.
Denison showing a unique formation on that last play, Dave. They came out with what amounted to a tight T formation with 3 backs in the backfield, then split both tight ends out. Usually when you come with a tight T, you're going to bring both the tight ends in and run a power formation. They split them out and then show the same formation again.
Yeah, full house backfield, 3 running backs set up back there behind Barnes, the quarterback, who is over center. He'll go back, hand it up the middle. This one is carried by David Braid. Braid hit at the line, never tackled, but pushed back. Might have gotten a yard there. After the holding penalty, they were looking at a 1st and 25. And this time Braid picks up 4, so it's 2nd down.
Well, Denison would prefer to keep the ball on the ground, although last week Barnes was forced to throw the football 44 times. That's not their game. They would much rather have a balance or have Barnes and Berg carry the ball about 40 times between the two of them.
Berg was the man in motion. Here's a toss downfield. They've got a man open, but a nice defensive play by Bobby Bott, knocking that ball away from the intended receiver, Nick Thompson. Bott got behind, but then made up some ground and made a diving grab at that ball to knock it away.
Well, doing exactly what you need to do in terms of a defensive back. Stayed with the receiver, then reached over the top with his left hand, knocked the ball away, did not make contact with the body, or that right hand. Sometimes you'll get that hooking around the waist or a push in the back as you go for the football. Nice job by Bobby Bott out of Midview High School.
Junior defensive back, very nicely done to avoid any interference call. 10:28 to play, first quarter, 7-0 Case. Barnes back to throw again, looking downfield. They have him in their grasp, and Calderon finally brings him down. Had some help defensively from John Genovese, and Calderon finished off the sack. Barnes goes down. That'll bring up 4th down and Denison's 2nd punt of the day.
Well, I think that sack, sometimes you say the sack is on the quarterback, sometimes you say it's on the defensive secondary for good coverage. That looked like it was a miscommunication. He had 3 receivers within about a 10-yard area. Somebody ran the wrong route, and Barnes had nowhere to go. And McDermott, the tight end, I think was the receiver he was looking for downfield.
Punt will be taken on a fair catch by Sean Nicely, and he makes the grab at the 27-yard line. So Case starting in their own territory here on homecoming Saturday at Case Field. So far today, no first downs for Denison. They've been 3 and out on their first 2 possessions. Meanwhile, Case with a couple of first downs, but the big play, that 28-yard touchdown pass to Nicely, as well as that opening play of the game, the reverse to Brian Metalsitz, which we've come to sort of expect, Ed, on those opening plays of games. Greg Debelak and Derek Slesh coming up with those reverses to kind of get things started on a high note. Dan Whalen and company back out. Whalen takes the snap, and they try another reverse. That's covered. It was intended for Colasar, and Whalen has to take it out of bounds over on the far side of the field. So they were looking to go back to that reverse, but it was well read by Denison.
Yeah, the Denison defense stepped into that lane that Whalen wanted the reverse on. Case had it set up well offensively on the front, but did not account for the outside linebacker, Jim Miner, coming around the end.
3 receivers set, eye in the backfield behind Dan Whalen. Corey Checken in there along with Greg Meyer in the backfield. Checken is the fullback. They'll go back and hand to Greg Meyer running behind Checken, turns the left corner, and he's upended on a very nice tackle turned in by Denison's Drew Homick.
Corey Checken did a nice job getting out in front, got a nice block on Joel Ulrey, but the pursuit too much for Meyer to turn the corner.
Did pick up about 4 on the play. 3rd down and 9 now for Case, so he gets some of the lost yardage back on the busted reverse. But 39 for Whalen. 4 receivers in, 1 to the left, 3 to the right. Webster, the slot man, on the right side. Whalen takes the shotgun snap, goes back to throw, dumps it over the middle looking for Checken out of the backfield, but it goes through Corey Checken's hands, incomplete. 4th and 9, and the Spartans will punt.
Denison ran a little stun up front with their defensive ends coming around on the twists inside. The tackles went to the outside, closed off the passing lane that Whalen thought he had.
Punt coming up, dropping back deep for Denison is Nick Weiss, the sophomore out of Anderson High School in Cincinnati. Whalen ready to punt it away.
Ben Klabina late on the field.
Play clock down to 10 now. Still time for the snap. Whalen ready to call out the signals. Now 3 on the play clock. They'll have to hurry. They do get it off. Low snap to Whalen. He still gets the punt away, and nicely done. Weiss will make the catch at the 28-yard line. Moves left, cuts back upfield, gets out close to the 35. He is knocked down there, and that's where Denison will take over. Third man of our broadcast crew today is Nick Stroud. He's on the sideline.
Well, guys, I got a couple of injuries to report for you. Sophomore running back Derek Bush is not dressed today. He will not play. I talked to him before the game. He said he did tweak his hamstring a little in practice. Didn't feel good enough to go, so we won't be seeing him in the backfield. Also, defensive back Luis Gonçalves, he has been dealing with a shoulder injury now for about a week or two. He is dressed. He is available, but I think it's just going to come down to whether or not the Spartans need him or not today, guys.
Nick, thank you very much. You'll check in with Nick a little bit later. And, yeah, Derek Bush dressed in street clothes down on the sideline today, not available. Bush so far on the season with 1 touchdown run, 84 yards rushing on the season. First play for Denison. Picks up about 1 yard on a handoff up the middle to Braid. So 2nd down and 9 for the Big Red. 7-0 Case with 8 minutes and 7 seconds left here in quarter number 1 at Case Field. Somewhat cloudy now. It was sunny when the game began a few moments ago. Shotgun snap goes back to Barnes. He'll tuck it under, looks to run, nowhere to go, and then he's tackled.
It's Dale English in there for the Spartans with the tackle.
English, the freshman out of Holy Name, wraps up Barnes for a loss, and quickly 3rd down and 15.
Well, again, Case showing a different front. Dave going with 4 down linemen and 4 linebackers.
Not sure if that was a designed quarterback keep or not. He did look downfield, but then quickly decided to try and run it, but the hole filled up quickly, and he was thrown for that loss. That's a loss of 6 on the play, so a long 3rd down now, 3rd and 15 from the 30. They need to get out to the 45, and a delay of game penalty against Denison as flags come out. They did not get the play off, and it'll be 3rd down and 20 from the 25.
Well, and the Big Reds only converting about 40% of their 3rd downs this year.
Denison 1-2, Case is 3-0, ranked 14th in the country by Division3Football.com.
And number 1 in scoring 49.5 points a game, Dave.
We did promise you a look at the Case defensive unit. We'll try to do that after this 3rd down play. Coming up at halftime, we'll be hearing from Jeff Brown today, the junior linebacker. Man in motion for Denison, Matt Forgatch. And now they keep it in Barnes' hands again, and he is tackled just over the 25, might have picked up 2, and it's 4th and long for Denison and another punt upcoming. The defensive unit, of course, for Case Ed, anchored by Brown at linebacker, who is having a terrific season.
Yeah, for Case, they started with 4 down linemen, Brian Calderon, Jake May, Gian Genovese, and Dale English. Ben Klabina, Lucas Sasala, Lee Sasala, and Jeff Brown you'll see at linebackers. In the defensive secondary, Mike Peliak, Bobby Bott, Derek Sharp, and Brad Paramore.
Case came after the punt, but they get it off, and it takes a good Denison bounce all the way back out to the Case 38-yard line, and that's where the Big Red will down it, and Case will come out and take over, leading this game by a score of 7-0 with 6:11 to go here in quarter number 1. Again, it's a pleasure to have you with us today in our radio audience on WHKW AM 1220 and on Case EDU, enjoying our video coverage provided by Classic Productions today, giving you the pictures of the game as well as our broadcast. So we welcome all of you tuning in on this homecoming Saturday at Case Western Reserve. Whalen will hand to Corey Checken. Checken gets out to the 40-yard line, and it's a pickup of about 1 for the big man. 2nd down coming up. I remember our interview a couple of weeks ago, Ed, with Bobby Bott, asking Bobby what is the key to a good kickoff return. He said he catches the ball and runs right at Corey Checken's backside.
Well, Corey Checken is always moving forward. And we noted last year he had 116 carries Only 115 of them were for gains. Only one time did somebody stop him for no gain or behind the line of scrimmage.
Check-in sets up to Whalen's left. Shotgun snap. Whalen will run this one, and he has some daylight. Out to the 50, to the 45, grabbed and run out of bounds at the Denison 45-yard line.
Whalen had half a field and 20 yards in front of him when he decided to take off downfield, and Ryan Colasar extended that run with a good block downfield.
Obviously, you wince a little bit with Whalen's recent hamstring trouble when he, number one, runs it like that and then is tackled hard on the sideline, but he pops up and jogs back to the huddle. They'll swing it out to Homick, his first catch of the day, to the 40, to the 35, down to the 33 before he's tackled.
By his brother, Drew Homick, on the tackle for Denison.
Drew Homick and Zach Homick, both out of Chicago, Illinois, squaring off today here at Case Field.
That little inside bubble screen's been a staple of this offense for about 3 years now. And Brian Webster, who had just checked into the game, had a nice block on the outside that sprung Homick downfield.
Homick still in the game with Webster on the left. Colasar nicely drop out wide to the right. Check-in sets up in the backfield, 2 yards to the left of Dan Whalen. The right side is the wide side of the field right now. Whalen calls the signals, takes the snap, wants to run it, steps through the line, gets back past the linebackers, and he's tackled just short of the 25-yard line. They'll mark him down on about the 26, a pickup of close to 7 for Dan Whalen on the first down play.
Well, and a designed quarterback draw on that play, so maybe the coaches are beginning to feel a little more comfortable with Dan Whalen as his hamstring gets healthy over the last couple of weeks. Whalen doing much more running last year than we've seen this year out of him.
Second down and 4. He'll roll out to the right side. Colasar is open downfield, makes the catch at the 12, and he's knocked out of bounds. 15-yard completion to Ryan Colasar, who did a nice little out pattern about 7 to 8 yards downfield, then cut out toward the sideline, and Whalen put it right on his numbers.
Well, it's just almost machine-like for this offense in the first half. We mentioned it before. 111 points and now 118 points in the first half. They've given up just 7 defensively. So the ability to put points up and put them up quickly in the first 30 minutes has really been a strong point of this Case offense here in 2008.
So they mark it on the 13. Whalen back to throw. Flips it up in the air looking for Colasar. He's bumped. There's a flag out on the play. Pass interference coming up against Denison. Tyler Lambert, the sophomore safety, ended up bumping into Ryan Colasar, and they'll mark this one down to the 6.5-yard line.
Colasar had a nice little move out and up and had 2 steps on the defensive back, and Whalen put the ball right on the back corner of the end zone. Without a bump, Colasar just glides under that for a touchdown. The bump put him on the ground.
Whalen has a touchdown pass today already. A 28-yard strike to Sean Nicely. It is 7-0 Case. 3:36 to go here in quarter number 1. Actually, they marked that down much farther than I thought they would, Ed.
They gave him a full 15-yard penalty.
The football was marked on the 13, I thought, but instead, they do mark it down to the 2-yard line. First and goal, Case on the 2. They'll turn around, hand it to Corey Check-in, dives forward, touchdown. Check-in dives ahead for 2 yards and the score to make it 13-0. The Spartans strike for the second time today as Check-in rumbles in for his 4th touchdown of the season.
Well, if you talk about Dan Whalen's office maybe being between the hash marks in the pocket, Corey Check-in's office is inside the 5-yard line. Just hand him the football, let him drop those big shoulder pads, get him over his knees, and he'll push everybody into the end zone.
Here comes the PAT from Sam Coffey, the sophomore. He kicks it through. It's good, and it's 14-0 Case here in the first quarter. We'll be back with more from Case Field on Homecoming Saturday in just a moment. You're listening to the Spartans Broadcasting Network.
Hi, my name is Mark Joseph, and I'm an assistant professor at the Mandel School of Applied Social Sciences, which is our graduate school of social work here at Case Western Reserve. A pressing issue that we face as a society, and right here in our city of Cleveland, is how to decrease persistent poverty. Research has shown that one key factor is continued high levels of segregation by race and by class.
And Joe Ulrey will bring it back to the 25, out close to the 30-yard line. He is tackled, and that's where the Denison Big Red will take over.
Cameron Boyd on coverage for Case. Came down, put a nice little shoulder into the return man for the tackle.
3:26 to go, first quarter. David Wilson, Ed Doherty, Nick Stroud on the sidelines today. Nick Miller is our studio engineer. First and 10, Denison. Football marked on the 30-yard line. Nick Krimpaski lines up in the backfield right now. We haven't seen much of John Berg, save that first series. Their leading rusher. Now Mike Barnes takes the snap, drops the football. It's loose. Did he pick it up? He has it. Rolls out, gets rid of the football, and it will be out of bounds as Barnes takes a big lick in the backfield as he let go of that football. Christian Fredericks there on the coverage for Case.
Well, Barnes was rolling to his left, had to square his shoulders to throw it with his right arm back towards the field of play, and by doing that, just opened up his entire body to be crushed by Christian Fredericks, who came in and put a shoulder down into his ribs. Barnes fell awkwardly down near the 20-yard line.
3:19 to go, first quarter, 14-0 Case. Football controlled by Denison right now. 2nd and 10 from the 30. Barnes back to throw, has some time, wings it downfield, coming to the near side, and it is overthrown. His intended target, Drew Clennon, the freshman wideout out of Circleville, Ohio. Thrown a little bit too high and out of bounds. 3rd down and 10.
Well, Barnes was lucky to get away from center. It looked like he got his ankle tied up with one of his linemen as they were pulling out to create that little rollout pocket, but still managed to keep his balance and get the ball away.
Right now 0 for 3 on passing for Mike Barnes. Barnes out of Mayfield High School, hometown of Gates Mills here in the Cleveland area. 3:12 to go, first quarter. The snap back to Barnes, 14-0 Case. Barnes will throw it into traffic, and the ball is incomplete. 3 Case defenders converging on it.
Jeff Brown, Brad Paramore there. Looked like they were fighting over fighting over the football, the opportunity to pick one off.
4th down and 10.
And
so
Ben Klabina got his hands on it initially.
Another 3 and out for Denison. And a punt coming up. Bobby Bott, Sean Nicely, drop back deep for the Spartans. Here's the punt by McFerrin. A good high kick, spiraling all the way back to the 30-yard line, and that's where it's taken by Nicely on the fair catch. And the Spartans will come out offensively here with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. And really, Ed, you look at the Case offense and how efficient it has been, how explosive. Many times there really is no reason to risk a punt return. You can call for the fair catch, take it where you have it, and let Whalen and company do the rest.
Yeah, there's no reason to even think about possibly getting a turnover on a return often, or even a penalty, one of the two. You get a push in the back and get yourself inside the 20, or you'll turn it over in your own territory. Case has been very good about keeping care of the football. Only 2 turnovers all season.
Whalen will roll out. He goes deep downfield. Nicely is open. He makes the catch at the 30-yard line, down to the 25, still on his feet at the 22.
Nicely and Homick were both in the same area, just crossing at that point. And Nicely stepped in front and took the football right away.
Well, Whalen rolled out to the right. He had absolutely no pressure on him whatsoever. And Nicely ran under that one as Whalen put it right on the money, all the way down to the 22-yard line.
It took 4 defenders to put Nicely on the carpet.
Here's the shotgun snap back to Whalen. He'll go for the end zone as he guns it for Nicely, just a little too far out in front. and it's incomplete.
Oh, did Dan Whalen step into that one? Planted his back foot and just rifled one to the corner and off the fingertips of Sean Nicely.
The earlier completion to Nicely went for 47 yards, and so Whalen now 4 of 6 for 101 yards on the day with 1 touchdown.
That was a laser to the corner.
2:31 to go, first quarter, 14-0 Case. Great to have you with us in our listening audience and viewing audience on the internet. Our web stream today provided by Case Media Vision. Whalen will run this one, gets down to the 20-yard line, and is tackled by a couple of Denison defenders. Andrew Bomey in there to help bring Whalen down. Whalen up, walking back toward the huddle, looking over to the sideline. Second down for Case. They'll give him 1 on the play. I should say third down. Third down and 9 for Case now, with less than 2 to play here in the first quarter. Case operating deep in Denison territory, but not yet in the red zone. Meyer lines up in the backfield. 4 receiver set for the Spartans. Low snap, dropped by Whalen. Picks it up, and what are they going to say?
That Whalen put his knee down.
They do call the play down. Whalen very upset on the field. So it's a 4th down for Case.
That's a bad call. Whalen's knee did not touch the turf.
It looked like a low snap that Whalen just bent down to pick up. But they do whistle it quickly as a dead ball. And so the Spartans lose yardage on that play, and they'll bring in Sam Coffey for a field goal attempt. Now, this one will be teed up at the 34-yard line, so a 44-yard attempt for Mr. Coffey. Here's the snap and the kick. It is a line drive that splits the uprights. It is good. Sam Coffey with his 4th field goal of the year, his longest of the season, a 45-yarder, a 44-yard field goal by Sam Coffey. 1:03 to go in the first quarter, 17-0 Case. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout on the Spartans Broadcasting Network.
I'm Fred Colopy, a professor of information systems in the Weatherhead School of Management. Under the umbrella Managing as Designing, we've been conducting research aimed at understanding how the knowledge of great designers could be used to enhance the training of great managers. Working with designers in areas such as architecture, industrial design, graphic design, theater, and the arts, we've identified attitudes, techniques, and perspectives that can readily be applied to improving how we manage organizations and society.
Well, Case with another prolific first quarter. They lead it 17-0, 1:03 to go. Coffey with the kickoff, a booming kick back to the goal line. It's taken by Krimpaski to the 15, to the 20, knocked out of bounds at the 24, and that's where the Big Red will come on as the sun returns here to the Village at 1:15, Case Field at University Circle. So the Spartans leading it by a score of 17-0, a career-long field goal for Sam Coffey of 44 yards. His previous high, a 42-yarder a year ago.
Officially for Case, 5 plays, 42 yards, 1 minute, 57 seconds, capped off by Sam Coffey's career long.
So here's Barnes, 2 receivers, 1 on each side. They'll go to Berg with it. John Berg, the senior, 5'9", 210. He is tackled after a short gain right up the middle. 45 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Second down and 8, 2-yard gain. They'll have it on the 27. They should be able to get another playoff here before the end of the quarter. 17-0 Case, 2 touchdowns and a Sam Coffey 44-yard field goal. Barnes will work from the shotgun. Berg in the backfield. Now they will keep it in the hands of the quarterback. Barnes dives across the 30, out to the 32, a pickup of 5. And they say it's a loose ball or what? Flags come out. And perhaps some shoving or other activity at the tail end of that play, but a flag is out with 8.6 seconds to go.
And that flag came from the field judge down near the 50-yard line on the near side of the field. He threw that flag to the middle of the field in the 35, so probably about 40 yards in the air, that flag flew.
We'll pick up the call momentarily. Let's see what it is. And it's going to go against Denison. Personal foul call against Denison following that play, so some frustration perhaps setting in. Ed, is the Big Red self-destructing there.
Oh, there it is, right at the end of the play. Coming in on Brian Calderon was John McDermott.
Brian Calderon playing today, returning to the lineup for the first time since week 1 after a serious knee injury, but it's heavily taped and braced. That's the end of the first quarter. They do not get another play off. It'll be 3rd and 19 when the second quarter begins. 17-0 Case. Second quarter action coming up in just a moment here on the Spartans Broadcasting Network.
They don't have school.
Now let's go down to the field for Nick Stroud as our webcast continues with a special guest.
I'm here with Jim Trelevin, a board member with the Case Alumni Association, also a former football player here. Jim, how you liking the game today?
It's great, Nick. You know, watching the program last year got everybody excited, and Denison's a really good team, and the Case is really pulling pretty far ahead in the first quarter. It's great.
All right, so why don't you tell us a little bit about what it is you're working on? I know you're running a field house campaign to get a field house to go right back here behind the stadium. Tell me about that.
Well, Nick, Case Field here, Nobby's Ballpark back there, the softball field, are among the nicest athletic facilities for any Division III school that I've seen. The last piece of the puzzle, which goes right back here, is the field house. You can see what it will look like when it's completed. We're in the midst of the campaign to raise the money to get this built. It's the last piece will make this far and away the best facility for a Division III school anywhere in the country.
Yes, it definitely would be the final touch to this field. And tell me some of the benefits that it would have for the students here at Case.
Well, we're building it in 2 phases, Nick. The first phase, which will be right here, will have facilities, workout facilities for both the athletes who participate in sports that are held here, as well as the students who live in the North Campus dorms. Most of the students live at this end of the campus, and right now they don't have a facility for working out at all in this part of the campus. This will make it very convenient for them. The second floor will also have study facilities and a lounge, so it'll be a lot of facilities for use both by the athletes and by the students who live in the North Campus.
All right, Jim, well, good luck with your campaign. I appreciate the time.
Thanks very much, Nick.
We welcome you back to Case Field. Second quarter action getting underway. 3rd and 19 for Denison. Barnes in trouble. Rushed out to the far side. Stays on his feet out across the 20 to the 21 before he's brought down. A pickup of 5, but well short of the first down. So a long 4th down coming up. And the Big Red will punt, and it looks like good field position in store for Case.
Yeah, Case should get the ball back right around midfield. Some interesting stats here in the first half, or first quarter so far, Dave. Case, 16 plays, 152 yards in total offense. That's 51 on the ground, 101 through the air. Denison has just 12 yards in total offense, all coming on the ground.
We are just underway, second quarter. Here is the punt for Denison, punted away by McFerrin. It'll be caught by Bobby Bott, and they are going to say he was down or that he asked for a fair catch. Bott grabbed the ball, started upfield.
I think Jeff Brown signaled for the fair catch, and Bott came over and caught the football and took off. Bott wanted to return it, and Jeff Brown puts his hand up to signal for the fair catch, a real weak little wave, and then got out of the way. Or check that, that wasn't Brown, that was, is that right? Or Sean nicely back on that kick. Nicely with the wave.
So Bott was ready to return it. It's a fair catch, and Case takes over at their own 44 for this drive, already leading it by a score of 17-0. First drive of the second quarter for the Case Western Reserve Spartans. It's homecoming Saturday here at Case Field. They'll hand this one to Bill Dykman, who gets ankle tackled as he dives across the line of scrimmage, gets out to the 47-yard line. Pickup of 3 for the sophomore out of Mentor, Bill Dykman.
Dykman seeing his first action of the afternoon, and for Case, it's been running back by committee pretty much all season, with Meyer and Chekin and Dykman and Derek Bush adding that fourth wheel.
Dykman is the lone man in the backfield. 3 receivers set on the left. Homick split out wide to the right. Dan Whalen goes back and fakes a handoff to Dykman, swings it out to Homick. Nice cut back across midfield to the 45 to the 40, down to the 35 and knocked out of bounds.
Chris Center leading the charge on that little weak side bubble screen to Zach Homick. Center with a couple of shield blocks down the field.
Bert Bathione on the tackle for Denison. And a big gain for Homick after the catch. It goes for 21 yards. And Whalen continues to rack up some impressive passing yardage here in the first half. 1st and 10 from the Denison 32-yard line, 17-0 Case. Here in the second quarter, fake handoff to Dykman. Whalen runs right up the middle, spins at the 25, and he's knocked down. 7-yard pickup for the junior quarterback, Dan Whalen. It'll be 2nd down and 3 for the Spartans from the Denison 25.
More this week than we saw 2 weeks ago with the design quarterback draws or quarterback sweeps.
Dan Whalen, again with 2 receivers on each side. They line up Colasar and Nicely on the left. Webster in the slot on the right along with Brian Metalsitz. Whalen rushed down to the pocket, tucks it under, runs to the 20, to the 15, and he's tackled at the 12.
Brought down by Jim Miner. Miner pursuing from his linebacker position. But again, Whalen making a good decision. Making a quick decision as he goes through his read, seeing a lot of open space, taking the ball, tucking it under, and going upfield. Positive yardage again for the Spartans.
So they mark the football on the 13 of the Denison Big Red. And Case, I believe, will take a timeout. Spartans take a timeout, so will we. It is 17-0 Case with 12:12 to go here in the second quarter. We'll be back with more action from the 2008 homecoming game at Case in just a moment on the Spartans Broadcasting Network.
Back here at Case Field, Ed Doherty, Dave Wilson alongside tonight, or this afternoon, as the Case Western Reserve University Spartans lead the Denison Big Reds 17-0 with 12:12 to play here in the second quarter.
Now Dan Whalen looks over to the sideline looking for a new play, and it's sent in by head coach Greg Demilak. They shift over a little bit. Now Whalen will throw a little timing route to Homick in the end zone. It's knocked away, and it is picked off. Deflected and then caught by Denison's Bathione, who was in the right spot after that ball was initially tipped. We'll see who got a hand on it as this one goes to the end zone, but then it was knocked away. Nice defensive play by Tyler Lambert, the sophomore defensive back, who got that one up in the air. And then Bert Bathione able to haul it in the end zone, and the Denison Big Red will bring it out to the 20-yard line. And a big break for Denison.
Well, it's one of the few times that Case gets into the opponent's red zone that they don't score coming into the game. They were 14 of 16 getting into that red zone scoring category. And that's the first interception this season for Dan Whalen.
First INT. They will hand it to John Berg. He picks his way forward out to the 24-yard line, and he is tackled there after a gain of about 4. They may give him 5, so they'll mark it on the 25-yard line. 2nd down and 5 for the Big Red with under 12 to go before halftime. Coming up at half, we'll be visiting with Jeff Brown of the Case defense, junior linebacker. And we'll also be catching up with Nero Wemilisena of the Case men's soccer team, who have a big game tonight here at Case Field. Berg carries across the 25 to the 26-yard line.
The pushing and shoving continues at offense for Denison that's generated virtually no forward movement in the first quarter today. They had just 12 yards in the first quarter.
Yeah, Denison still looking for their first down of this game. 17-0 Case, 11 minutes to play here in the second quarter.
And the frustration beginning to show on that front 5 for Denison as they have a little pushing and shoving after the play.
High in the backfield behind Mike Barnes, the senior quarterback out of Mayfield High School. They'll go back and hand it up the middle. This is carried by Berg rather. The ball came out. Case feels they have it. They'll try and uncover the pile. The Case players feel they have recovered a fumble here.
Well, as soon as it came out, Bott and Klingscott were pointing their way.
It is Case football. The turnover gives it back to Case. So back-to-back offsetting turnovers, and the Spartans will have it now at the 29-yard line of Denison.
No harm, no foul.
Well, the interception does not end up coming back to haunt Case, at least not at this juncture. 10:36 to play in the second quarter, and the Spartans will have it again operating in Denison territory. Dan Whalen with Checken and Meyer in the backfield. Meyer will get the handoff, breaks through the line, gets back into the secondary across the 25 and down close to the 20-yard line. A pickup of 8 for Greg Meyer. It'll be 2nd down and 2.
You know, sometimes you can tell when an offense is going to throw the football, the linemen come out, set up in their 2-point stance, and maybe bow back the line of scrimmage. You could tell right there they were going to come out and run the football. The 5 offensive linemen for Case snapped down, leaned forward, and fired out as Whalen called the snap count, gave a huge hole to Greg Meyer.
High in the backfield again, Checken and Meyer. Colasar split out wide to the left. They'll go to Checken. First man through, spins down to the 16-yard line. A pickup of 5 and a first down for the Case Western Reserve Spartans with under 10 to play now here in the second quarter. Case leading this one 17-0. They mark Checken down at the 17-yard line. A first down nonetheless as Whalen makes his way back over center. Whalen takes the snap, fakes a handoff to Meyer, rolls out, swings it out to Checken. He makes the catch down at the 11, knocked out of bounds. They will mark him out at the 9-yard line.
Corey Checken had the opportunity to step out of bounds around the 13 as he caught the football, but he turned back to the inside. He wanted to knock down a few more Denison Big Red players, picked up 4 more yards. Again, contact for Corey Checken is a way of life.
8 yards on the pass play from Whalen to Corey Checken, and now the Spartans bring in 3 receivers. They keep the eye set in the backfield. Nicely in the slot on the left. Colasar split wide left. Zach Homick tight on the right side. They'll go to Meyer right up the middle inside the 10 as he dives forward for close to 1, maybe 2 yards. It'll be a 3rd down play now for the Spartans. 3rd and 2. They need to get to the 7-yard line for a first down. Spartans leading at 17-0. Corey Checken with a rushing touchdown. Dan Whalen with a scoring pass to Nicely. And a Sam Coffey field goal amounting for the scoring drives today. 8.5 to go second quarter. Whalen swings it out to Homick. Makes the catch. Picks his way forward for the first down inside the 5. And he's tackled short of the goal line. Well, very little room for error on that play as Whalen threaded the needle to Zach Homick on a very quick pass, short range. That ball was thrown very hard. Homick then had to quickly cut upfield, which he did to get the first down.
Avoided tackles from Tyler Lambert and Bert Bethany.
Full house backfield for the Spartans. They will go back. Whalen hands up the middle, very close to a touchdown as Corey Checken dives in. Touchdown Spartans as Checken scores for the second time today. Corey Checken from 3 yards out scores his second touchdown of the game and his 5th of the season, and the Spartans lead it by a score of 23-0 with 8:08 to go here in the second quarter.
Give Greg Meyer an assist, had just enough of a block to allow Checken to get past him and into the end zone.
PAT from Sam Coffey is up, and it is good, and the Spartans extend the lead now to 24-0 here in the second quarter. We'll take a 30-second timeout. Back with more action from Case Field after this on the Spartans Broadcasting Network. Case 3-0 on the season. Denison 1-2. Case defeated the Big Red last year at Case Field 45-6, and off to a big lead here today, 24-0. 2 touchdown runs by Corey Checken. Here is the kick from Coffey. It is a very short kick. It'll be taken by an upback at the 36-yard line. Not much of a return there. Grabbed by Bert Bathioni, who gets back to the 41-yard line. That's where the Denison Big Red will take over. Let's go down to the sidelines for a report from Nick Stroud. Nick?
Well, guys, as you know, it's a very rare occurrence when quarterback Dan Whalen throws an interception. On that last drive, he did just that, his first one of the season. But these players on this team have such a respect for Dan and his ability as a quarterback. After that play, receiver Zach Homick, who the ball was intended for, went up to Dan, said, "Dan, I'm sorry, that was my fault. We'll get him back later, don't worry." And there they go, scoring a touchdown on the very next drive.
First play from Barnes swung out to the far side. It's complete out there. A late flag after the hit. Nick Thompson, the senior wide receiver, the recipient of that pass. And then a penalty coming up. It looks to be against Case.
Going to be on Bobby Bott for unsportsmanlike conduct as he spun the receiver around and flung him to the ground after he'd stopped forward progress.
So they have yet to mark the penalty off, but here is the call, and it is that personal foul call against the Spartans. And so that will march the football across midfield. So Barnes completes his first pass of the day.
And officially Denison will get their first down.
Case now with 11 first downs in the football game. Denison with their first, 24-0. Case leading it. We're in the second quarter on homecoming Saturday here at Case. A beautiful day, still 60 degrees out. Barnes fires it upfield. That's caught. Ball loose as the hit occurs, but I don't think the football was ever under the possession of Jeff Cochran, the intended receiver. Cochran, the sophomore out of Massillon Jackson, had that football for a moment but was hit. The ball popped loose. Incomplete pass.
Yeah, Derek Sharp coming over with a big hit to jar it loose.
7:43 to go, second quarter. Mike Barnes working from the shotgun. He has Berg off to his right in the backfield. Case coming. Now they fire downfield. Barnes has a man open. The pass caught, or is it out of bounds? It was complete to the intended target, Mike Brienzo, another senior wideout, but he was out of bounds when he finally hauled that one in.
Looks like Christian Fredericks got over there with a big hit. Fredericks and Bott on the play. Close. Question is whether or not there was control of the football when he had his foot down. I don't think so. And then the big hit from Fredericks.
Split. Mike Forgatch out wide to the left. They're looking for him. They throw it through traffic. It's intercepted. Brad Paramore makes the interception for Case on the third down play. Forgatch covered in double coverage. Paramore steps in front, picks it off, and the Spartans take over on the turnover as Paramore hauls that one in.
Case came into the game, Dave. They were +9 in the turnover ratio. They're +1 today now. So on the season, they have forced 13 turnovers in 3.5 games.
Paramore, this first interception of the season. Case takes over 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. Case operating in their own territory. Dan Whalen with Bill Deitman in the backfield. Medelsit split out wide to the right. 2 receivers on the left. Whalen looking over, not sure if he checked off or not, and now some movement, and I believe Case might have been guilty of the movement on the line.
Looked like Chris Center got an early start, took a step, he'll get called for the procedure. And as he did, he took a big hit from Josh Hampirian coming across the line.
7:33 to go, second quarter. We're at Case Field today as the Spartans look to go 4-0 in the 2008 season. Beautiful sunny day here in Cleveland. The Spartans with the early lead, 24-0. Whalen takes the snap. They'll hand it to Bill Deitman. He's caught in the backfield and tackled. Nicely done on the coverage by Drew Hanna, the University School product out of Hunting Valley. Hanna, a junior. Second down and 18 for Case. Get to that station break momentarily. Dan Whalen approaches the line of scrimmage. Second down and 18. Whalen so far today, 7 of 10, 136 yards through the air. The junior quarterback calls out the signals. 3 receivers stacked on the left. Homick is the man on the right, making his way down the sideline, comes back for the football. Whalen doesn't see him. Whalen scrambles out to the left, now fires it out for Homick. He makes the catch across the 35 to the 40, and it's a first down for Case as Whalen buys time and finds Zach Homick on the left side for a big gain. 6:37 to go here in the second quarter. Before the first down play, we'll pause for station identification on the Spartans Broadcasting Network. A 23-yard completion from Whalen to Homick. Now Deitman has it. Runs around the left side, dives forward out to the 42, maybe the 43. 2-yard pickup for Bill Deitman, second down for Case.
Dan Whalen just showing his athletic ability. Just back and forth and back and forth. It also shows a confidence in your offensive line that they're going to protect you. And you can roll either to your left or to your right in finding Homick downfield.
5:55 to go, second quarter. Whalen again will roll out. This time he has some good blocking. Now it starts to break down. Looking downfield, tucks it under. He'll run it, spins away, still on his feet, absorbs a big hit short of midfield.
Nick Weiss on the big hit came over, and as Whalen came out of a spin, was face to face with Weiss.
Whalen walks over to the sideline. Whalen standing on the sideline. He says, hey, get Joey Baum in there. Whalen might need a minute to collect his thoughts. So Joey Baum comes on for this play. It's 3rd down and 4. Whalen absorbed a big lick over there. And he came walking over to the sideline and said, hey, I need a break. Check and lines up with Baum. Baum with the snap fumbled a little bit, but now fires it out complete to Nicely across midfield. Nicely thrown out of bounds, and a late hit gets flags coming from all over the place. Nicely thrown out of bounds at the 47-yard line of Denison.
Joe Yearley rode him out of bounds and then spun him around and spiked him into the bench. It'll cost Denison 15. Nicely had picked up the first down with a little spin move. Did get inside Big Red territory enough for a first down. Now you'll tack 15 more on top of it. Case will be down near the 30-yard line.
Dan Whalen comes back into the game right now, so Joey Baum 1 for 1. The sophomore comes in and for a moment mishandled the snap, but then got a hold of it, found the open receiver Nicely, who ended up, as Ed described, getting hit late for the big penalty, and that moves it all the way ahead to the 32-yard line. So the pass was good for the first down. The penalty yardage adds even more. They go to check it right up the middle. He's still on his feet out to the 25-yard line. They were trying to say he was down.
No,
checking.
They blew the whistle. They thought he was tackled at the 30-yard line.
He was not anywhere near the pile. Checkin had blown right through everybody. The officials were saying he was tackled. They were looking down at a pile of bodies. Checkin wasn't even in there. So the officials faked out.
It's an inadvertent whistle.
They will stop the clock and get this sorted out with 4:11 to go here. They're going to have some explaining to do to Greg Debelak.
I think it was DJ Sutka who was at the bottom of the pile, and the referee thought Sutka was checking. Checking just broke out of the pile and was 6 yards away from it when they blew the whistle.
So we'll see how they plan to get this corrected. Corey Checkin was all the way out at the 25-yard line. Of course, when the whistle blew, everybody kind of stopped on the Denison side. So I'm not sure if they'll replay the down. It looks like that's what will happen. They're going to replay the down and probably put some time back on the clock, Ed. I would think they have it right now at 4:11 on the clock. 24-0 Case.
It's an inadvertent whistle. They're going to replay first down. But they need to put about 30 seconds back on the clock.
I think they are trying to get the clock reset. They're looking up at us at
4:24. They're going to put 15 seconds back on the clock.
I know we look very official here, Ed, but I don't think we can handle putting more time back on the clock. They're trying to get that set now at 4:24 to go in the quarter. They'll try to get that set on the clock. 24-0 Case. This has been a banner day for Dan Whalen. 9 for 12, 165 yards, a touchdown. The Spartans with a comfortable lead here against Denison. There we go, 4:24 to go on the clock now, which is what the officials have said they want. So they'll replay this down. Dan Whalen will go from the shotgun. Greg Meyer is checked in with Corey Checkin in the backfield. Colasar, the lone man, on the right. Whalen will roll out, looking left, now looks back right, gets away from the coverage, now wings it downfield and throws it away.
Whalen landed that one on the 4th row of the track.
Some unsuspecting band members there, the intended receiver. 4:06 to go here in the second quarter. By the way, our email is up today. If you'd like to drop us a comment, if you're an alumnus listening or watching today, the homecoming game here at Case Field, sportsinfo@case.edu. Sportsinfo@case.edu. Whalen back to throw. Steps through, he'll tuck it under. Gets to the 25, to the 20, and steps out of bounds. Well, Whalen, who absorbed a big hit a few moments ago, able to step out of bounds, no contact, but a nice run and a first down.
Well, Greg Meyer was the safety valve in the flat that Whalen wanted to look to lob it to, then decided he was going to take it, and with that, directing traffic, directed Greg Meyer back into a pursuing linebacker. Had a big hit. That is Greg Meyer springing Whalen downfield for an extra 5 or 6 yards.
That was a 13-yard scramble for Dan Whalen and a first down all the way to the 19-yard line of Denison. 24-0 Case. 3:35 to go here in the quarter. We're in the second period. Whalen rolls, throws out to the end zone, and it's just overthrown. Sean Nicely trying to run under that one. Incomplete. Second down and 10. Coming up at halftime, we'll hear from Greg Debelak. Nick Stroud will catch up with the Case coach on the field. We'll also be hearing from Jeff Brown of Spartans football, as well as Nero Wimilasena of the Case men's soccer team. They'll be playing here on this field tonight against New York University. 3:28 to go, second quarter. Dan Whalen calls out the signals. The junior with a quick glance over to the bench. Checks off now. They'll call a new play. Meyer, the lone man in the backfield. Whalen, shotgun snap. He'll run it again, straight up the middle, cuts it across. Now tries to get back to the middle of the field. He's hit hard by about 6 Denison Big Red defenders.
A lot more design quarterback draws and sprint rollouts than we've seen in the last couple of weeks for Dan Whalen. So the coaching staff has to feel confident in Whalen's ability to, 1, absorb the hits, and 2, that his hamstring and leg injury from early in the season is fully healed.
So Whalen picks up about 5 on that play. So it's 3rd down and 5 from the 14. Whalen came up a little bit unhappy after that last tackle. Not sure if something was said or if he did not appreciate the language used on that particular tackle, but Whalen came up a little bit agitated. 2:45 to go here in the second quarter. 3rd and 5 from the 14 of Denison. Case leading at 24-0. Colasar split out wide to the left. Homick and Nicely on the right. Nicely slot right. Meyer in the backfield with Whalen. And Whalen to throw. Goes to Nicely, makes the catch inside the 10. And that's all the farther he will get.
It'll be enough for a first down, though. And that's important to Case, as they'll reset the chains and have a 1st and goal inside the 10.
They mark Nicely down at the 9. He had a man holding onto his jersey from behind, so he could not get any farther upfield, but Whalen makes the completion. 5-yard pickup, which is exactly what they needed for the first down. 1st and goal Case from the 9-yard line. Second quarter action. And a timeout taken by Greg Debelak. Spartans will take a breather here and talk it over. They lead it 24-0 over Denison. Second quarter action. We'll step away for this 30-second timeout. You're listening to the Spartans Broadcasting Network.
Hi, I'm Letitia James, and I'm the director for the Center for Community Partnerships at Case Western Reserve University. Many people are unaware of the positive impact that Case Western Reserve University plays in the community every day. As a campus, we coordinate over 500 programs with nearly 600 community partners, and we invest nearly 400,000 hours of volunteer service each year. Our programs not only impact 9 local school districts, but 29 international countries as well. From our National Youth Sports Program to Case for Community Day, together we're
Well, Dan Whalen stumbles on the snap on the 1st and goal play and falls down behind the line of scrimmage, so he loses yardage back to the 16. Whalen loses his footing on the turf, and the Spartans end up losing about 7 yards there. 2nd and goal from the 16-yard line. Four receivers set, three on the left, Homick on the right, Whalen to throw. He'll go out of the backfield to Meyer, makes the catch, and he gets down to the 15, maybe to the 13-yard line, out of bounds. With 1:30 to play, I guess they say he was in.
Keep the clock moving.
Clock moving with 1:25 to go. Case has one timeout. Denison has not used a timeout here in the first half. 24-0 Case. Spartans trying to tack on some points before halftime. Whalen with a 3rd and goal from the 13-yard line. Whalen throwing so far in the first half for 173 yards. Whalen takes the snap, looks to the end zone, now bounces off a tackler, rolls out to the right, throws to the end zone for Homick, touchdown! Whalen buys enough time and finds Homick for a 13-yard touchdown pass.
I think what's most impressive about Dan Whalen's scrambling ability is that his offensive linemen know that Whalen is going to look to throw first and stay behind the line of scrimmage. They don't get called for an illegal man downfield, despite all the running around that Dan Whalen does.
Homick calls that one in, his 5th catch of the day, 75 yards and a touchdown. Sam Coffey comes in for the PAT. The hold is good. Coffey with the kick. It is up. It is good. And Case extends the lead to 31-0 with 53 seconds left here in the first half. We'll take a 30-second timeout. Back to Case Field after this on the Spartans Broadcasting Network. Look at Whalen. Output. And they will kick off to Denison. Sam Coffey with another short kick. And that takes a bounce and will go out of bounds over at the 28-yard line. 31-0 as Zach Homick catches his 2nd touchdown pass of the season. He has caught 5 balls today for 75 yards. Whalen 2 touchdowns. 12 of 17, 186 yards. The Spartans in high gear today, Ed Doherty, as they have again removed the suspense from week 4.
And I have to wonder if you'll see Dan Whalen in the second half again, much like last week or 2 weeks ago against Oberlin, with Case with a huge first half lead. And Whalen just took a seat for the final 30 minutes.
And Whalen coming off the field, shaking his right hand. Not sure if he was hit on a couple of those tackles or not, but came off not necessarily favoring his hand, or didn't look serious, but was shaking that hand on the field and when he came off. First play complete to Jeff Cochran, the sophomore wide receiver. He get that football out close to the 45, 2nd down and 5. This one almost picked off as Barnes throws into traffic again. That one intended for Nick Thompson, but bounced around and ended up falling to the ground.
He hit Brad Paramore right in the shoulder pad and took a high bounce off the pads. So a couple of Case players with an opportunity at a pick there.
Brad Paramore does have an interception today. The Spartans leading at 31-0 here today at Case Field. Bright sunshine at Case. Beautiful fall afternoon for homecoming here at University Circle. Barnes to throw. He'll wing it upfield. It's caught across midfield down to the 47-yard line. Receiver on that play was Mike Brienzo, the senior.
And as Sasala was holding him up, Klabina in there looking at a strip, trying to yank the ball out, force another turnover
19 seconds to go, second quarter. Barnes will run with the football out to the far sideline, and he wings it out of bounds. Boy, he got rid of that football to avoid negative yards. Just 11 seconds left for Denison here in the second quarter. Second down and 10. 31-0 Case as the Spartans again have come out in high gear offensively. Barnes from the shotgun. Looks to throw. He'll try and run with it, and he'll be caught in the backfield and tackled by the Spartans. And it looks like a timeout taken by Denison. So they will ask for and get a timeout to stop the clock with just 6 seconds left in the half.
Well, and at this point, 3rd and long, Barnes will probably line it up with a trips left or right and heave one downfield, hope for something to happen, either a tip or a interference call of some sort.
Looks to throw. He'll try and
maybe possibly get themselves on the scoreboard just before halftime.
Zach Homick with 5 catches today. Sean Nicely with 4. Each of those receivers with a touchdown catch today. Rushing wise, Greg Meyer, 4 carries, 18 yards. Corey Chekin, 4 carries, 9 yards, but 2 touchdowns. And Sam Coffey with a career best 44-yard field goal today, as the Spartans have built a 31-0 advantage here in their homecoming game against the Denison Big Red. 6 seconds to go here in the second quarter. 31-0 Case. Final play of the half as Barnes, the former Mayfield Wildcat, takes the snap, rolls out to the right, looking downfield. He'll go down. He's sacked in the backfield by Calderon. And the Spartans end the first half on a high defensive note on a sack of Mike Barnes, and these teams head to the locker room for the halftime break.